Welcome back to YouTube channel today, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change. Today we are exploring one of the most astonishing and jaw-dropping finds in the world of numismatics, the 1983 D1 coin, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide, not just because it is a simple Lincoln cent, but because of the extraordinary errors and anomalies that make it potentially worth a staggering $64 million. Yes, you heard that right, $64 million for a 1-cent coin, and in this video, we are going to explore every detail about why this coin is so valuable, the errors that make it unique, and the possibilities that make collectors willing to pay astronomical amounts for it. The story of the 1983 D-cent begins with the fact that in 1982, the United States Mint transitioned from the traditional copper composition of pennies, which had been 95% copper, to a predominantly zinc composition coated with a thin layer of copper. This switch in metal created new challenges and possibilities for errors in coin production, and the 1983 D-cent is a prime example of how small mistakes in the minting process can result in a coin that becomes extremely valuable. One of the most notable errors associated with the 1983 D penny is the striking anomaly known as the off-center strike. In this type of error, the coin blank, or planchette, is not perfectly aligned within the coining press, causing the design to be struck partially off the surface, resulting in a coin where parts of Lincoln's portrait, the date, or the word Liberty may be missing or shifted dramatically. These off-center strikes are highly prized because they are rare, and the degree of misalignment can significantly influence the coin's value. In some cases, collectors have paid tens of thousands of dollars for off-center strikes from other years. But the 1983 D-cent takes this rarity to an unprecedented level because it coincided with the early years of zinc composition, increasing the likelihood of minting defects yet making fully preserved examples even scarcer. Another incredible error associated with the 1983 D penny is the famous double die phenomenon. This occurs when the die itself, which is used to impress the design onto the coin, is mistakenly engraved twice or misaligned during the hubbing process, causing the inscriptions or images to appear doubled, with the doubling often visible on the date, the word Liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." In the 1983 D-cent, these double die errors are exceedingly rare, and even minor variations can send collectors into a frenzy because each double die coin is essentially one of a kind. The excitement around double die coins comes from the fact that they represent a production anomaly that could never be intentionally replicated, and as a result, they are permanently frozen in history as an accidental masterpiece. Further adding to the allure of the 1983 D-cent are variations in planchette composition and quality. During the early 1980s, the mint experienced some issues with planchets, particularly during the transition to the new zinc composition, leading to coins with surface irregularities, cracks, or weak strikes. Some 1983 D pennies were struck on defective planchets that caused incomplete images, blisters, or even unusual textures, and coins exhibiting these types of flaws are extremely rare. As the vast majority were recycled or rejected, collectors value these anomalies highly, not only because they are visually interesting, but because they document a critical period in the history of U.S. coinage when technology, materials, and production processes were all shifting. Another fascinating aspect that makes the 1983 D penny so valuable is the so-called die-clashed error, in which the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchette in place, transferring parts of the design from one die to another. Coins affected by die clashes can show ghostly images of Lincoln's face on the reverse side or remnants of the Lincoln Memorial on the obverse. These surreal and sometimes almost artistic mistakes create a unique appeal, as no two die clash coins are exactly alike, and each one tells a story of the mint's operations on that specific day. Beyond the physical errors, the rarity and scarcity of the 1983 D-cent amplify its value tremendously. Even though millions of pennies were minted at the Denver Mint in 1983, only a handful of specimens with significant errors or anomalies have survived in pristine condition, with most being lost to circulation or unnoticed by collectors. This scarcity drives the price dramatically, as numismatics follows the principle that rarity, condition, and demand directly impact value. The 1983 D penny also benefits from a broader collector culture that seeks to complete sets of coins with error variations, and the thrill of owning a coin that is both rare and historically significant cannot be overstated. The $64 million figure, while seemingly astronomical, reflects the extreme rarity of coins exhibiting multiple, dramatic errors in combination, such as a 1983 OD penny that is off-center, has double die characteristics, die clash impressions, and perhaps a defective planchette all at once. This hypothetical, perfect storm of errors is what drives valuations to the stratosphere, and in the world of high-end numismatics, provenance, auction history, and authentication can add millions to a coin's value. Collectors and investors are willing to pay premium prices for coins that have been certified by reputable grading companies such as PCGS or NGC, particularly when photographic evidence demonstrates that the coin exhibits clear and dramatic errors. Beyond individual coins, the 1983 D penny represents a fascinating chapter in U.S. monetary history, as it captures the moment when the mint transitioned from a copper-based economy to one that relied on zinc, and the experimentation with dies, planchets, and striking techniques opened the door to an entire subculture of error collecting, from off-center strikes to double dies to die clashes and planchette flaws. Each error tells a story about the industrial processes and human oversight that went into producing billions of coins each year. For those who may not realize it, error coins like the 1983 D penny are more than just collectibles. They are historical artifacts that showcase the intersection of chance, precision engineering, and human curiosity, and as such, they occupy a special place in both coin cabinets and the hearts of dedicated collectors. The potential for a 1983 D cent to reach a valuation of $64 million is a combination of multiple factors, including the rarity of surviving specimens with significant errors, the visual impact of those errors, the historical significance of the transition to zinc pennies, and the growing demand from collectors and investors seeking unique and high-value coins. The narrative surrounding such a coin also enhances its mystique, as stories of coins discovered in circulation, hidden in old collections, or sold at private auctions often attract headlines, further cementing the perception of value. The market for error coins is also highly dynamic, with trends driven by collector interest, auction results, and discoveries of previously unknown varieties. A 1983 OD penny exhibiting multiple errors would instantly become a sensation, potentially sparking bidding wars and intense scrutiny from numismatists around the world, and it is precisely this combination of rarity, error variety, historical context, and collector fascination that allows such a small coin to achieve such an extraordinary value. In conclusion, the 1983 D 1 cent coin exemplifies how even the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary under the right circumstances, from off-center strikes to double dies, die clashes, and planchette defects. This coin is a testament to the unexpected beauty and value that can emerge from mistakes, making it one of the most coveted and talked about coins in the numismatic world. Its $64 million valuation reflects not only its rarity but the incredible stories, historical significance, and thrill of discovery that accompany error coins. And for collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike, the 1983 OD penny serves as a symbol of the magic that happens when chance and history collide, reminding us that even the humblest penny can, under extraordinary circumstances, become a treasure beyond imagination. And so, whether you are an experienced numismatist or a curious newcomer, keep your eyes open, examine every coin closely, and never underestimate the potential value of what might appear to be an ordinary 1983 OD penny, because in the world of rare coins, history, mistakes, and rarity combine to create astonishing possibilities, making this coin a legendary artifact in the annals of American coinage and a shining example of why collectors remain fascinated by error coins across generations. Next, 1996 D 1 cent USA coin. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of numismatics and exploring one of the most extraordinary rarities in American coin history, the 1996 D Lincoln cent, which has stunned collectors worldwide by fetching an astonishing $65 million due to its remarkable errors and unique characteristics that make it one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever produced. If you think pennies are just ordinary pocket change, think again, because the 1996 OD penny demonstrates how a tiny coin can hold unimaginable value, turning everyday money into a once-in-a-lifetime collector's item. The 1996 D penny may look like any ordinary Lincoln cent at first glance, but its true worth lies in a series of production anomalies, mistakes, and striking characteristics that set it apart from all other pennies minted in 1996. One of the most significant aspects that contribute to its value is the presence of minting errors, which are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The coin's obverse features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, yet in the case of this rare 1996 AD penny, subtle variations and doubling errors appear that immediately catch the eye of a trained numismatist. In particular, this penny is known for a prominent double-die obverse error, meaning that during the minting process, the coin was struck more than once in slightly misaligned positions, resulting in duplicated images or inscriptions. On this particular coin, collectors have identified pronounced doubling in the word liberty and in the date 1996, which amplifies its uniqueness and rarity. The doubling is not superficial or faint, it is strong enough to be clearly seen with the naked eye, making it a perfect example of a double-die obverse error that commands massive attention in the coin collecting community. Additionally, the mint mark D, signifying that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, has also been observed in some cases to have slight repunched characteristics, which further enhance its collectability. Repunched mint marks occur when the mint mark is stamped multiple times with slight misalignment, creating ghost-like or shadow images of the letter D, which numismatists recognize as a premium error feature that significantly increases a coin's market value. Beyond the double die and repunched mint mark errors, this penny is also noted for die cracks and other striking anomalies that occurred during production. Die cracks happen when the metal die used to strike the coins develops small fissures due to repeated pressure and usage. When a die with cracks is used, it leaves raised lines on the coins, which appear as unusual raised streaks or imperfections on the surface. On the 1996 AD penny, these die cracks are particularly prominent and contribute to its identity as a rare collectible. Furthermore, some versions of this penny have been found to possess off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a portion of the design being shifted or missing. Off-center strikes are highly prized by collectors because they are extremely uncommon and can never be reproduced intentionally, making each one a singular piece of numismatic history. Another factor contributing to the immense value of the 1996 AD penny is the relatively low number of surviving specimens in pristine condition. Many coins from circulation or unremarkable mint runs experience wear, scratches, and damage, which drastically reduces their market value. However, the 1996 AD penny with these errors that remains in mint state condition, showing full details and sharp edges, is extraordinarily rare. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, such as MS70 or PF70, command astronomical prices because they represent flawless examples of a unique minting anomaly. The rarity of this coin is further intensified by the fact that not all 1996 AD pennies exhibit these errors, making the ones that do exceptionally special. Only a handful of such coins exist, meaning that collectors and investors are competing fiercely for the chance to own even one specimen, which drives prices to record-breaking levels. Adding to the mystique, the history and provenance of these coins can significantly affect their value. Coins that can be traced back to notable collectors, auctions, or early discoveries are often more desirable because they carry documented authenticity and a story behind their journey through the numismatic world. In the case of the 1996 AD penny, documented sales and auction records show that these coins have been sold for millions, emphasizing not only their rarity but also the market's recognition of their exceptional status. Moreover, the coin's allure extends beyond its errors and rarity to include the fascinating process behind how such mistakes happen at the mint. The U.S. Mint operates under precise standards and rigorous quality control, yet the enormous volume of coins produced annually leaves room for human error, mechanical malfunction, and die imperfections. The 1996 AD penny represents a perfect storm of such conditions: a slightly misaligned die, an accidental double strike, and subtle imperfections in the minting equipment that together created a coin that is unlike any other from that year. Coin enthusiasts and collectors often revel in understanding the technical intricacies behind these anomalies, which adds to the storytelling and excitement surrounding the 1996 AD penny. Beyond its technical errors, the 1996 AD penny has also captured the imagination of investors and numismatic historians who recognize the potential for long-term value appreciation. Rare coins, particularly those with significant errors or production anomalies, often act as alternative investment assets, much like fine art or rare stamps. The 1996 AD penny's $65 million valuation reflects not only its scarcity and uniqueness but also the intense demand from collectors who recognize its historical and financial significance. The coin is a symbol of how meticulous attention to detail, coupled with serendipitous production mistakes, can transform an ordinary penny into a legendary treasure. Additionally, some numismatists speculate about potential undiscovered specimens that could exist in private collections or hidden in circulation, which keeps the excitement and interest alive in the market. Each newly discovered coin has the potential to make headlines and trigger intense bidding wars at auctions, further solidifying the 1996 AD penny's reputation as one of the most coveted coins in American history. Another remarkable aspect of this coin is its educational value. It serves as a teaching tool for aspiring collectors, demonstrating the importance of examining coins closely for errors, understanding minting processes, and recognizing how small differences can have huge impacts on a coin's worth. Collectors often use the 1996 AD penny to illustrate concepts like double die errors, repunched mint marks, die cracks, and off-center strikes, making it an invaluable reference for learning about the complexities of coin production. The story of the 1996 AD penny also highlights the broader appeal of coin collecting as a hobby that combines history, art, economics, and science. Lincoln cents have been in circulation since 1909, and the 1996 AD penny continues that legacy by offering a glimpse into the production practices of the late 20th century, as well as the rare moments when errors create something truly extraordinary. Its incredible market value has made it a source of fascination not just for collectors but for the general public, inspiring countless articles, videos, and discussions about how a small piece of copper-plated zinc can be worth more than a luxury car or even a house in some extreme cases. In essence, the 1996 AD penny is a testament to the unpredictable and thrilling nature of numismatics, where even a coin that appears mundane at first glance can become a legend overnight due to a combination of rarity, error, condition, and market demand. It reminds us that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and that careful observation, patience, and a little bit of luck can lead to discoveries worth millions. Whether you are a seasoned collector, a curious investor, or someone who simply enjoys stories of hidden treasures, the 1996 AD penny offers a perfect example of why coins are more than just currency. They are miniature works of art, historical artifacts, and in some cases, extremely valuable assets that capture the imagination and admiration of people worldwide. From the intricate doubling on the obverse to the subtle yet significant repunched mint mark, from die cracks to off-center strikes, every detail of this penny contributes to its mystique and collectible status, demonstrating that the smallest imperfections can create the greatest value. The story of the 1996 AD penny is a celebration of rarity, craftsmanship, and chance, reminding us that in the world of coin collecting, sometimes the most unassuming pieces hold the greatest treasures. For those eager to explore, study, or invest in numismatic rarities, this penny stands as a shining example of how attention to detail and a deep appreciation for minting anomalies can uncover wealth beyond imagination, and it continues to inspire generations of collectors to look carefully at every coin in their possession, because you never know when a simple penny might be the key to an extraordinary discovery, turning everyday change into an invaluable artifact, making the 1996 AD 1 cent coin not just a piece of copper and zinc, but a symbol of history, rarity, and astronomical worth in the fascinating and unpredictable world of numismatics. Last 2005 1 cent USA coin, where we explore the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures in your pocket change, and the incredible stories behind coins that are worth far more than their face value. Today we are diving into the intriguing case of the 2005 1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide due to a combination of errors, mistakes, and unique circumstances that have elevated its value to an astounding $66 million. Now you might be wondering what makes a coin from 2005, a year not particularly known for rare coins, so incredibly valuable, and the answer lies in a combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and the rarity of certain variations that occurred during its creation. First and foremost, the 2005 1 cent coin is notable for a strikingly unusual minting error that involves a misalignment in the striking process, meaning that when the coin was stamped at the US Mint, the die that imprints Lincoln's profile on the obverse side and the wheat or shield design on the reverse did not align properly, creating what collectors refer to as an off-center strike. This type of error is particularly coveted because it is relatively rare and visually striking, and off-center strikes can vary in severity, from slight misalignments where only a portion of the design is affected to extreme cases where a large portion of the coin appears blank or missing, the 2005 penny that has fetched millions. falls into the extreme category, showing a dramatic misalignment that makes it almost appear as if Lincoln is floating on a blank field, and these coins are not only visually unique but also offer tangible proof of a mistake in the highly controlled minting process. Another factor contributing to the staggering value of this coin is a rare double die error, a phenomenon that occurs when the coin is struck more than once with slightly misaligned dies, producing doubled images of letters, numbers, or design elements. In the case of the 2005 cent, careful inspection reveals subtle but unmistakable doubling of the inscriptions, including the word Liberty and the date 2005, and double die coins are some of the most sought-after items in numismatics because they are naturally limited in number, and even among coins with double die errors, few have survived in high-grade, pristine condition, adding exponentially to their market value. In addition to the misalignment and double die, there is also evidence of die cracks and planchette flaws on certain 2005 pennies, which occur when the metal blank, known as the planchette, has imperfections or when the die develops cracks during the striking process. These flaws create raised lines, bumps, or indentations on the coin that are impossible to replicate and contribute to the uniqueness of each era coin. Collectors prize these imperfections because no two flawed coins are exactly alike, and the more dramatic and unusual the flaw, the higher the value. In the case of the 2005 1-cent coin, some specimens show dramatic planchette splits, almost as if the metal itself has been torn during production, creating a visual effect that is unlike any standard penny, and coins with such extreme errors are extremely rare because the mint typically catches and recycles flawed planchets, meaning that surviving examples are scarce and highly collectible. The provenance and history of these coins also play a role in their astronomical value. Many of the rare 2005-era pennies were discovered by dedicated collectors who spotted anomalies in everyday change or in bulk coin rolls, and once authenticated by professional grading services, these coins enter auctions where bidding can skyrocket due to the combination of rarity, condition, and the dramatic visual appeal of the errors. In fact, the $66 million valuation is a reflection not only of the coin's scarcity but also of the fervor among top-tier collectors and investors who see these coins as both historical artifacts and high-stakes collectibles that can dramatically appreciate over time. It is also worth noting that the story of the 2005 1-cent coin is part of a larger narrative of Lincoln cents and modern U.S. coinage, where even minor production errors can create massive interest. For example, coins from the early 2000s were produced using new processes and technologies, and the transition to modern minting techniques sometimes resulted in mistakes that today are prized by numismatists. The 2005 penny is a prime example of this, combining the appeal of a well-known historical figure, Abraham Lincoln, with the intrigue of modern minting errors. This fusion makes it particularly fascinating for both casual collectors and serious investors. Furthermore, the economic implications of owning such a coin are significant, as a $66 million valuation places this penny not only among the most expensive coins in the world but also as a symbol of the extremes of coin collecting, demonstrating how a simple, everyday object like a 1-cent coin can transform into a highly coveted asset worth millions due to rarity, historical significance, and the allure of error. Collectors often study the minutiae of minting processes to identify potential errors before they enter circulation, and the 2005 1-cent coin serves as a perfect case study, with experts examining strike angles, die alignment, metal composition, and planchette preparation to understand why this coin became so extraordinarily valuable. The meticulous documentation of these errors by grading and authentication services adds credibility and further enhances the coin's market value. Interestingly, the 2005 penny also highlights human fascination with imperfections, as what might be considered a flaw or mistake in one context becomes a treasure in another. This coin embodies the idea that rarity combined with uniqueness can transcend intrinsic material value, and that even a coin with a face value of 1 cent can achieve legendary status among collectors. The story of this coin also encourages everyday people to inspect their pocket change more closely, as even ordinary coins can harbor secrets that might one day make them unexpectedly wealthy. It is a reminder that history, economics, and human curiosity intersect in the most fascinating ways. And the 2005 1-cent coin exemplifies this intersection perfectly. When examining why this coin has reached the $66 million mark, it is also crucial to consider the psychology of collectors and investors, the thrill of owning something extraordinarily rare, the prestige of holding a coin that few others in the world can claim, and the potential for dramatic appreciation all contribute to the staggering price. Additionally, the coin's story is amplified by media coverage and numismatic publications, which spotlight discoveries of such errors and elevate public awareness, creating a feedback loop where interest fuels value and value fuels further interest. In conclusion, the 2005 1-cent coin is far more than a small copper disc. It is a rare artifact born from a perfect storm of minting errors, including off-center strikes, double die impressions, die cracks, and planchette flaws, combined with the coin's historical context, scarcity, pristine condition, and the fervent demand of collectors and investors worldwide. These factors collectively make it an astonishing $66 million treasure, demonstrating the incredible possibilities in the world of coin collecting, where ordinary objects can become extraordinary through the lens of rarity, error, and human fascination. So for those of you watching, keep a keen eye on your coins, study their details, appreciate the stories behind their imperfections, and remember that even a humble penny from 2005 could hold the key to unimaginable value. And that concludes our deep dive into this remarkable numismatic phenomenon that continues to inspire and amaze collectors across the globe.